Yes, we should be right now. And we're on right now, folks. And we are ready to roll. As always, Arknolia and the Doctor, episode 37 of our music memory series, folks. And of course, we're continuing our discussion on the early 70s rock bands that kind of like helped pave the way for heavy metal.
Yeah, and some of them are debatable whether they're metal or not, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but they did had a hand in their in contributing to the metal genre. Now, before we start, we want to give a shout out to Dave Rose, who is live on his channel right now. Roasting the shit out of Bullfrog. Try to get something through to Bullqueef's head there, but of course, Bullfrog being the dipshit that he is, don't want to listen. I'm always being harassed. Maybe you need it, Bullfrog, and that's about it for so far. I was listening to that a little bit of that on the way home there.
Okay.
Okay, so
And we're going to jump around too a little bit too. We
okay,
won't be in kind of a chronological thing.
okay,
Okay. First one I want to talk about a little bit is Humble Pie,
oh yeah,
which they're definitely
yeah,
pretty
humble.
close to metal. They're not metal, but they're close enough we can kind of.
Yeah, we all know the song "I Don't Need No Doctor," like the back of our
Right.
hands. There was a couple others out there. I remember a song called "Fool for Pretty Face," which came out in 1980. There, it's back. I guess what it was, they reunited. With of course without Frampton, of course, and
Right.
they released a couple albums like "On to Victory," for the Go for the Throat, and a couple others there. And sadly, Steve Marriott, who was supposed to do a project with Frampton sometime years back, passed away from a fire in his house. I guess he was inhaling all that smoke, and I guess that what did him in, from what I
Right.
understand.
Okay. Uh, Number 10, I got the song called Hot and Nasty.
Nice.
Number 9, I got is a cover of a Steppenwolf song, Desperation.
Ah, which is interesting there.
Number 8, I got is 30 Days in the Hole.
Oh yeah, we know that song pretty much well. That used to get played
Yeah,
constantly there. And by the way, if you notice there was a little snippet right before the instruments would start. It's really like, and it's like, so obviously the tape machine they probably paused the tape machine and then started it again when the band started after they did their harmonic vocal intro there.
right.
I'm not too sure. I'm thinking that's what it happened because it obviously sounds like it there.
Yeah. And number 7, I got is I Walk on Gilded Splinters,
Mm.
which is actually on the Rock in the Fillmore album.
Yeah, that's one of the big albums that they're best remembered for. That's the same one with "I Don't Need No Doctor," and I guess that's the one with Frampton on the lead guitar there.
Yes,
Yeah, remember
he's
Peter
there.
Peter Frampton was a member of Humble Pie prior to leaving the group to start his successful solo career.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 6, I got is 4 Day Creep, which is also on the Rock in the Fillmore album.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I'm Ready.
All
That's
right.
on the Fillmore album.
All right.
You can tell I kind of like that one.
Nice.
Number 4, Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Shine On, which Renton actually did on his live album,
Ah.
but I think this was his song.
Oh yeah, he probably composed it and figured since I wrote it, I could do it for my solo career there.
Right. Number 2, I Don't Need No Doctor.
Oh yeah, classic. Which Wasp, by the way, covered on their studio albums in the '80s there.
And my number 1 is Stone Cold Fever,
Mm.
which is on the Rock in the Fillmore and one of their solo albums too. But
All right.
generally, in their particular case, I'm gonna prefer
The live
the Rock in
version.
the Fillmore. Yeah,
Yeah, the live version.
that's one of those groups that the live version just is head and shoulders above.
which basically explains the reason why people enjoy a certain live albums because you get more out of the sound than what you do on the studio album there.
Right. A lot rawer sound in some cases,
Yeah.
and in other cases it's extended,
Yep.
and they throw things in. It's in a lot of cases the live versions are better, but not always.
Yeah.
Uh, I have Argent, but I don't think they're anywhere close to metal.
Um.
So we'll get them at a later date.
All right.
Bogman Turner Overdrive is, I don't know. I think they're more arena rock, so we'll skip them too.
Yeah.
And then Bad Company, same thing.
Yeah. Which I guess you could say was the first supergroup because you had two members of the band Free and one of the members of Mop the Hoople combined into
Yeah,
one, and a one member from King Crimson.
right. Blue Oyster Cult. No,
Oh
that's pretty
yeah,
close to metal.
yeah, absolutely. They were often, you may remember many times, they're often called the American version of Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
And they
and
did,
that group.
and they dived a lot into science fiction a lot of times there.
Yes, they did. My number 10 for them is Burning for You.
Oh yeah, it's still played on the radio to this day, back from 1981.
Yeah. Number 9, I got, excuse me, Harvester of Eyes,
Mm,
which that's got that on their On Your Feet or On Your Knees album
yeah,
is a better version of that one.
which is a great title, by the way, to put
Yeah,
on your T-shirt.
that's their live album.
Oh, nice. Well, they had another one called Some Enchanted Evening, which they
Right.
did a cover of the MC5's Kick Out the Jams.
Yeah. Number 8 is Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. And we know who it's about.
Yeah, pretty obvious. Number 7, I got Subhuman, which the best version for me is again on that On Your Feet or On Your Knees album.
Uh-huh.
It's also on one of their early ones.
That's right.
Number 6, oh, The Reaper. Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, yeah. And it gets, for what I remember, I'm not too sure what the song's about, but I remember a lot of evangelists out there was condemning that song because it was advocating suicide.
I don't see it, but it's possible, I suppose.
Let me look it up here to find out what it's about there. Okay, song by Blue. Got it. Should be coming up right now. The explanation on the song here. Okay, it was a song. Okay, got it on the Wikipedia. It's from their album Agents of Fortune. It was
Right.
written and sung by Buck Dharma, their lead guitarist there, and it deals with eternal love and the invincibility of death.
Yeah, because it does mention Romeo and Juliet.
Yep. And songs about what I said, I can't pronounce it. It's about the depth and the foolishness of fear in it. It was written
Right.
by Buck Dharma when Buck Dharma was thinking about what would happen if he died at a young age.
Right.
Lyrics like, of course, Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity have led many listeners to interpret the song to be about a murder-suicide pact. But Dharma says the song is about eternal love rather than suicide. He used the Romeo and Juliet to describe a couple who wanted to be together in the afterlife.
Right.
He also said, quote, 40, excuse me there, 40,000 men and women died each day. And the figure was used several times in the lyrics. This
Yeah.
rate, it was 100,000 off the mark. All right. So that's pretty much what the song is about there.
Yeah, I never really saw it as a suicide song, but that was me.
And I believe that's the song that really kind of like kicked off the more cowbell thing there
Yeah.
when it came to the Saturday
Right.
Night Live skit with Christopher Walken playing their producer.
Yeah.
And since that, when I saw Blue Oyster Cult back in around 2007 at a thing called the Stars and Stripes Festival in Mount Clemens, Michigan. You know, the merchandise said a lot of their shirts would say in the background, they have their logo, their name in the front, and the back it would say, "More cowbell, please."
Yeah. Yeah. That's a that was a great skit.
It was interesting. And you know what? You got to admit, having a cowbell on your song, it does kind of amp up the feel of it. It adds more to that massive direction.
Yeah. Okay, number five, I got a Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, which was
Oh,
their first big one.
oh yeah,
Great song.
oh yeah. It is definitely.
And number four, I got Heavy Metal, the Red and the Black, I believe it is.
All right.
That that's their version of the song Heavy Metal.
Yeah, and I believe that's from the heavy metal soundtrack from '81, if I'm correct.
Yeah, but they actually had it on one of their albums. I think it
Okay.
was on Fire of Unknown Origin.
All right. Because I know there was a lot of songs entitled heavy metal back in the day. They had Don Felder's heavy metal. There was Sammy
Yeah,
Hagar's heavy metal from the same movie, Heavy Metal.
right.
And I remember Blue Oyster Cult was included on the soundtrack. I may have figured it was that record there.
Yeah, but they it was on one of their regular albums.
Okay.
And number three, I got is a song called. You're gonna love this title.
Oh yeah.
She's as beautiful as a foot.
Oh, that's a good one there.
It's on their first album, and it's a great song.
All right. Cool. Interesting. All right. Definitely want
And
to
number
check it out there.
and number two, I got is Screams, which is also on their first album.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one
Mm-hmm.
is Then Came the Last Days of May. I think that's also on the first album.
Well,
But it's kind of a song about, well, it's hard to say, but I guess it's some kids that got involved in a drug deal and
yeah.
didn't make it.
Wow.
it it's a
Excuse me
great
there.
little song though.
All right. Yeah, but it's kind of like a little lesson to everybody out there who wants to get into the drug dealing trade there.
Yeah,
Now, also, by the way, there are some cover versions I should mention of Don't Fear the Reaper there. There was Lydia Lunch and Clint Ruin, a.k.a. Jim Thurwell, the group Fetus. They were an item. They did an album together, and their cover was one of the versions, one of the tracks covered on that album. They also have a group called The Beautiful South, the group Him. Remember their cover version of Wicked Game, the Chris Isaac tune, Onto Ashes. And there was Van Shee. And of course, there's a few others out there I remember there. And from what I understand, there was this industrial version I used to hear at the Leland City Club many ages ago that I wish I would like to hear again. If they had when they decide to reopen the date to reopen numbers, they should definitely play that track there because it would that be cool to hear that once again. I believe there's
yeah,
also an emo rock version. I don't know who does it. I remember hearing that in my former workplace there. But needless to say, BOC, made their mark there. Definitely.
and ten isn't really the end. I mean, they had a ton of great stuff on a
They had,
ton of
yeah.
great albums.
I know. Like the Revolution at Night from 1983. I was listening to that. We had the album Mirrors from '79, the title cut, and Doctor Music. They were good ones as well.
Cultosaurus erectus.
Oh, that was a badass. I love Black Blade and the track that comes afterwards as well. That's a good album as well. And I love the cover of that record. That was a freaky thing to look at.
Yeah, that was actually pretty deep.
I know, that was something out there. And I would love to see the boys at Funko Pop make a recreation of that album cover like they did with the first Black Sabbath album.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
In fact, I mentioned that in the video about doing the same thing for the first Ramones album. They could do the same for Judas Priest's "Screaming for Vengeance" or Defenders of the Faith or the
Led Zeppelin 1.
oh yeah, or better yet, the fourth Led Zeppelin album. You know, that would be
Oh,
with
yeah,
with
yeah,
that guy with the bag of huge bunch of sticks on his back there. That would be
yeah.
interesting to see. Or better yet, the album cover for Presents, Funko Pop versions of that family circled around that object on the dinner table.
Yep, yeah.
And a shout out to the boys from Reels Fuck TV. They're in this. They wanted to say hi as well.
Hi to them.
Hi to you guys. All right. Good news. I'll be working this coming Thursday in the morning there, so I get off at about 5:30. So I'll be able to join you guys this coming Thursday there.
Yeah, I might even make my presence felt. Who knows?
I will, but yes, I will definitely. You're invited just as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I will get you in just as well, dude. Definitely.
Okay, next bunch I got Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush.
Yeah. Now, I remember I never really too much. I really heard, bleh, excuse me. I heard the name of that many times before. He's a Canadian guitarist,
Right.
and they had guess I'm not too sure what many hit songs they had there because I only heard the
Well,
name there.
he's I guess you would call it an emulation of Hendrix.
Okay, there.
He definitely tries to get close without being Hendrix.
Okay, I see. It's without totally ripping him off, but yet
Right.
kind of like imitating his style there.
That's probably a pretty good description.
Yeah, absolutely there.
These are worth listening to. Number 10 is The Answer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is Talking About a Feeling.
All right.
Number 8 is Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah,
Number 7 is his cover of Roadhouse Blues.
all right.
Number 6 is his cover of Mona.
All right. I think I heard that. Yeah, there was. I remember the cover version of Roadhouse Blues because that was one of the only times I heard him and his band on the radio there. But then again, at that time, I was learning radio for the first time, and it's from an album called "What's Next."
I believe that is correct.
All right, yeah.
And number 5 I got is again a cover,
All right,
All Along the Watchtower.
all right. Hendrix, or excuse me, Bob Dylan. What am I thinking about?
Right.
Yeah. I remember there.
Number 4.
No,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. And by the way, Frank has his own YouTube channel called Official Frank Marino. You know, he often displays his guitar techniques and the effects pedals he uses.
And we'll see a lot of that in the next songs I pick.
All right, there.
Number 4 is World Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is Electric Reflections,
All
which,
right.
yeah, okay, there you go, guitar.
All right.
Number 2 is Strange Universe,
Mm-hmm.
which definitely has a Hendrix feel to it.
All right.
And number 1 is probably his best known song, is a number called Dragonfly.
Ah, I'm surprised. Strange. Well, then again, I was going to say the track "Strange Dreams," but that's Frank Marino's solo track from '82. So.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. Next band up, I think you've heard of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
We did their Mach 1 list a while back.
Yep.
Mach 2, Deep Purple.
Oh yeah, the main the purple that people know like the back of their hands. You know, being of course
Right.
you know Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, Roger Glover, John Lord, rest in peace, and Richie Blackmore.
Right. And Mach 1 was good, but it wasn't metal as much as Mach 2.
Yeah, because
Uh,
Mark II was like was massively on a rampage.
And I tried to stick to Mach 2 for the most part.
You know, everybody else
Uh,
everybody else as well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this list. And I went 15.
Oh, nice.
Number 15 I got is The Mule. Number 14 is Into the Fire. Number 13 is Fireball,
Oh yeah,
common theme.
from the album with the same name.
And number 12, Woman from Tokyo.
Oh yeah, we know that one there. I believe that was the last record to feature Richie Black. I believe Ian Gillan and Roger Glover before they
It
left.
was.
Yeah.
It was. Number 11, I got is Fly to the Rat.
Hmm. Oh yeah, another one from the album In Rock.
Yeah.
A great album. That
And
album is.
number 10, I got Smoke on the Water.
Oh yeah, which by the way was based on a true story. There, we all know
Yes.
the story behind it. They were recording the Machine Head album at some place in Montreux, Switzerland. Frank Zappa was doing a performance with his Mothers of Invention there. All of a sudden, a fire breaks out in the theater. In fact, there's a bootleg of that Zappa performance up to that when that fire starts.
Yeah.
I heard it on YouTube there.
Number 9, I got is Fools. That's a great song.
Hmm.
Number 8, I got Space Truckin'.
Oh yeah.
And I absolutely love the version of Live in Japan.
Oh yeah.
It's over 20 minutes long,
Nice.
but it's great.
I got you know what? I gotta check that whole Live in Japan
Oh
album out. I
yeah,
got to W all the way because we all know Highway Star, which is a kickin' version as well, and of course Smoke on the Water, which by the way the live version was what I first when the first time I heard of Deep Purple.
yep. But that's a great album, and
It is
it's a lot of extended stuff in it too.
nice. Yeah.
Like I said, Space Truckin's over 20 minutes long on that album.
All right there, definitely.
Number 7, Speed King.
Oh yeah, another one. I remember from the In Rock album. It was like
Yep.
described it as just a few roots replanted. The roots of rock and roll. I'm thinking when you listen to the
Yeah.
lyrics of that track there.
And number 6 is No One Came,
Mm.
which is a great song. Number 5 is Lazy, which is
Uh,
another one on the Made in Japan. It's really interesting to
and
listen to.
Machine Head as well.
Yeah. And number 4, I got a song called Our Lady, which is on the last album.
Um, the last studio album.
And the Mark II.
Oh
The
okay.
last two Mark II ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Who You Think We Are. Who you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Child in Time, which I found out was an anti-war song.
Oh, wow, interesting. Because I remember in the liner notes, it was about, they described it as a story of a loser. It could be you.
Yeah. Number 2, I got Super Trooper,
Oh, yeah.
which is on the last Mark II album.
All right, the album that we mentioned, Who Do You Think We Are?
And my number 1 is Highway Star. That's
Oh, yeah.
just a song that it rocks all the way through it. I mean, it just
Absolutely,
rocks.
because, that driving organ, Richie's guitar, the live version, I never really saw the Beat Club version of them performing that song. Richie does do a lot of crazy shit with his guitar there, here and
Yes, he
there.
does.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind, around that time, Richie Blackmore just was always known for smashing his guitar on stage a lot of times. No
Right.
doubt, but no doubt the boys at Fender Guitars be like, oh, Richie's on the phone. It's like, Jesus Christ, what did he do now to that guitar we finished for him? Oh, what? You already
Yeah.
broke it again? You want another one? Okay. Boys, let's make a steel guitar this time so that way he won't bust the damn thing once more.
Or set it on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the footage from the California Jam in 1974, you will know what the fuck we're talking about, man.
He basically grabbed a lot of that from Townsend and Hendrix,
Oh, yeah.
because both of them did that kind of stuff too. Well, Townsend didn't do the fire bit,
No,
but
Hendrix
Hendrix
did.
did.
He did it at the Monterey Pop Festival in '67.
Yeah. Well, let's do Deep Purple Mark III and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay, number 10, I got the song called Hold On.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, I got is a song called, I can't read my writing, Lay Down, Stay Down.
Oh.
Number 8, Stormbringer.
Yeah. And this is with Dale Coverdale and Glenn Hughes.
Right.
Ah.
Number 7, Might Just Take Your Life.
Ah.
Number 6, What's Going On Here? Number 5, You Fool No One. Number 4, Mistreated. Great,
Ah.
great live, the whole bit. Number 3 is Burn,
Oh
which
yeah.
is Mark 3 is probably their biggest one.
Yep. With Coverdale and Hughes sharing the vocal leads there.
And my number 2 is a song called A200, which is
Hmm.
an instrumental, but it's an interesting instrumental.
All right.
And my number 1 is Sail Away, or, not Come Sail Away, but Sail Away,
Ah.
which
So
is a
this.
great song,
All right there.
which is worth a listen. And when I send you stuff, I might just send you that one.
Definitely. I would look forward to hearing that. Now keep in mind there was a Mark IV for a short time when after
Yeah, well,
Richie left the group. Go
I
ahead.
think it went all the way up to like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Well, I know there was the fourth one was actually with when after Richie left, they replaced him with Tommy Bolin, who's no longer on this planet. He died from
Right.
drugs. I'm not too sure what
Yeah.
year. They released their final record, "Come Taste the Band."
Right.
Then the Mark II got back together for Perfect Strangers and House of Blue Light in the 80s there. Both were
Right.
massively successful. Then Gillan left again, and he was released by Joe Lynn Turner for an album called Slaves and Masters in 1990. Then they got back together, but the Mark II got back together for an album called The Battle Rages On. And then Richie departed once I guess for the second and final time, saying he cannot work with the tensions between him and Ian Gillan. Those two, the fights between those two, for I understand, is just about as legendary as the band's catalog.
Yeah. Probably on the level of, excuse me, Styx and Tommy Shaw and Dennis DeYoung.
Yeah, it's true there.
Those two simply could not get along.
Yeah, I know they were like kind of competition with one another. Tommy Shaw was a rockin' dude, and Dennis
Dennis DeYoung
DeYoung
was a
was
ballad tote guy.
not just ballad, but the theatrical kind of stuff. Everything had to be
Yeah.
like a concept album, like a Paradise Theater. Kilroy was here.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with concept albums. I like them,
Yeah,
but you don't make it your driving force.
exactly. Note to Roger Waters. That's what he was doing a lot of times during the 80s there. But
Yeah.
not everything has to be a concept album, dude.
Yeah. Next bunch I got's a group called Foghat,
Oh,
which
yes.
which
Oh,
is kind of
yes.
derivative of Savoy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and they were definitely a rocking band.
Oh, man. Stone Blue was played a lot on the radio for when I first started hearing it. The live version, the album, I gotta say this. The live album, simply called Foghat Live, just with all 6 tracks. One of my old friends, Bennett, back in Roseville, Michigan, he said it one time summed it up. There was not one house you could go into and not find that album in the record collection.
Yeah. And my top 10 there, pretty much everybody's going to have heard of most of these.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Number 10, I got is Take Me to the River.
Mm-hmm. Is this the same one that the Talking Heads would later do?
Yeah, they covered it later.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Number 9, I got is Rock and Roll Outlaws.
Ah, nice.
Number 8 is Save Your Lovin' for Me.
Mm.
Number 7 is Fool for the City.
Oh yeah, we know that's one of their classics there. By the way,
No,
the cover of that album features their drummer Roger Earl, whose only original member left nowadays.
yeah, because actually, what was his name? Dave Lonesome Peverett
Yeah, he
died a
died.
while back.
Yeah, he died of cancer, for what I understand.
Yeah. Number 6 is a song I think everybody in the world has heard.
Yep.
Slow Ride.
Oh, like the back of our hands. Remember that whole thing with Jim Carrey at the one of the MTV Movie Awards where came in dressed up as a hippie. You know, he was talking about Foghat. Oh, he likes the Foghat right now. It's and when Will Smith and somebody else, was taking them back. They were in on the whole thing, so they were taking him back, arm on arm, and all that. You hear in the background the song "Slow Ride" playing in the background there, and it's fits to say that stint on that program kind of helped gave that song a rebirth on the radio airplay list, especially on the classic rock side.
Yeah, I like it when they played the 8-minute version because the other
On
version
live,
just
on the live
no,
version, on the
no. I
8-minute.
mean, they had a cut single version, and
Oh, I see.
the
Yeah,
actual
that's right.
song was 8 minutes long on
That's
the
true. Yeah,
album time.
yeah. But the and plus the live version has its moment of power just as well, just like "I Was Made for Loving You."
Yeah. And number 5 I got is I'll Be Standing By.
Oh, excuse me. I just want to make love to you. Duh. What are you thinking, Earl? Dang gummit.
Number 4 is Stay With Me.
Mm.
Number 3 I got is Got to Get to Know You, which I believe is on their second album.
Ah.
Number 2 I got is a song called Dreamer,
Mm.
which is a great song. And my number 1 was possibly their only radio hit,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than Slow Ride, a song called Third Time Lucky.
Oh, yeah. I heard that song on the one the
That's
couple.
Foghat.
I heard that's by the way is a ballad. I guess it came from the
Yeah,
album Boogie Motel from 1979, and I was watching a couple times MTV played the live version of that track from a early '80s concert here, and they often played that a couple times there.
but that's, I consider it a great little song.
Yeah, it's interesting because but Foghat are one of those bands that are not really known for doing little ballads like
No,
that. No, so that's like
and it's a ballad, but it's not a, it's a fast moving ballad, I
yeah,
guess, for lack of a better word,
yeah.
because it's not one of those slow, drawn out, uh, normal things.
It's more upbeat.
Yeah, it's an upbeat ballad, for
Yeah,
lack of a better term.
yeah, it's good. I remember, like I said, you know what? The only time I saw Foghat live was when they were opening up for Triumph at the Joe Louis Arena, where me
Oh,
and my dad then saw them in '83, and I figured, and interesting enough, they did their songs, and I noticed the bass player happened to be Kenny Arison, who played with Billy Squire.
yeah.
And I don't know what the deal, whole situation was, but I guess he was a fill-in. I guess something was going on with their bass player. If I understand there.
Well, but yeah, Foghat was one of the groups I would have loved to have seen live. I never got to see.
Yeah. Well, they still, like I said, they still perform, but it's at smaller venues now. There, Roger Earl's
Well,
the only original. Roger
without
Earl's.
Dave Lonesome
Yeah.
Pepper, I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's true. The guy they got right now is a dude named Charlie Hung, who played and sang with Ted Nugent later on after Derek St.
Yeah.
Holmes' departure.
Yeah. Okay, next group I got, you possibly heard of them,
Hmm.
is Rush.
Oh yeah.
Now, I held it to 10. I could have easily gone to 20 or 30
I
with
know
them.
that's one of the reasons. Like I said, that's one of the big reasons why I'm unable to do lists of songs or albums because you gotta put this in there, gotta put that in there. I mean, give our
Oh, you're
credit.
good. After I get done, you're going to go, what about this song? What about this song? What? Well, I'm
I
telling
know,
myself
I
the
know.
same
Yeah.
thing.
You called it, dude. You called it. I much just might do that, man.
Okay, number 10 is Closer to the Heart. I
Oh
really like that song.
yeah. For I understand, Sebastian Bach of Skid Row had that song playing when he proposed to his wife Maria.
Wow.
If I understand there.
Number 9, I got New World Man.
Oh yeah, from 1983.
Right.
Yeah,
Number 8,
the album Signals, great album to check out.
yeah. Number 8, I got Time Stands Still.
featuring, by the way, Amy Mann from the group Till Tuesday on backup vocals, which is the only time they have ever had a guest performer on any of their albums.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, it is.
And number 7, I went with 2112. That whole thing.
Oh yeah, the whole story there. Because no surprise, because it fits to say that that whole piece kind of like was a predecessor to the PMRC
Yeah,
back in 1985. When you think about it.
yeah, and the one of the live versions is probably you listen to and it's like, oh, this really makes the studio version sound.
Yep.
And I don't remember which live version it was, but
Hmm.
it's great.
Wow.
Number 6, I got Camera Eye.
Hmm.
I like some of the longer stuff,
I am.
as you can tell now, because number
Absolutely.
5 is Xanadu.
Oh yeah. Named after the what's it? I remember this was about. I guess what is it? I'm trying to look up Xanadu. Forget about. I guess it
Well, it
was
wasn't that movie.
I know. Thank goodness. Dude, let me know. There we go.
Great music in it, but a dumb movie.
Absolutely. I remember hearing about that. And by the way, it's an idealized place of great and idyllic magnificence and beauty.
Right.
I guess that's what the description here says. And it means, it's also the summer capital of the Yuan dynasty, founded by, what's his name?
Oh,
Um,
I don't know.
I don't know, some sort of a fictional Marvel Comics superhero, or supervillain, I meant to say there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Number 4, Tom Sawyer.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Had to have that on the list.
Oh, that's going to be everywhere, not just for Neil Peart's drum solo there before they get to the final, what is it, the chorus? What is the
Yeah.
chorus there?
Was it Tom Sawyer?
Yeah, absolutely. There, that was when you look at it, man. It was like still played on the radio to this day. It's like you'll watch all
Yeah.
these, and it fits to say that Rush really definitely made a name in the Canadian rock circuit there for many
Oh,
years.
absolutely.
Yeah,
You might pretty much call them the best Canadian group, but then that's an opinion
that's true there.
shared by many.
Many, I mean, many would agree there. In fact, I think Neil Peart had from what I understand, he had a cameo or he had appearance in the Aqua Hunger Teen Force movie, I guess it was.
Probably.
Because I
Other
remember it
guys
was
like,
because when I saw the movie poster and the movie ad in the newspaper there when it came out, I noticed that it was appeared on. Let me look that up.
okay,
Aqua Hunger.
Hunger. Yeah, I know for a long time that was a little cartoon on
The
Cartoon Network.
yeah, Adult Swim there.
Yeah.
There we go. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's what it was. I'm gonna movie. Let me look up the movie there. Okay, here we go. Okay, there. Let's see. It was now of course it featured Dave Willis. Was created by Dave Willis. It featured the voices of Dana Snyder, Carrie Means, a couple others there, and Neil Peart of Rush.
Right.
Bruce Campbell, Tina Fey from Saturday Night Live, and The Office is also in there as well. Interesting there.
Yeah.
So it's basically, I guess it's a animated movie, if I understand there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And of course, rest in peace, Neil Peart. Taken from
Right.
us from but the Big Evil Sea,
Yep.
sadly.
Number 3, I got Limelight.
Great, one of the all-time greats from the Moving Pictures album.
Yeah. My number 2 is Free Will,
Another one there.
which has got one of my favorite lines in it. Is about If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. I was like,
Yep,
well, yeah,
absolutely. No truer words can be spoken, man. And also, much credit to Pert as well because he was the one who wrote the lyrics to each song.
yeah, yeah. And my number one,
Hmm.
Spirit of Radio.
Oh yeah, from
I
1980.
love that opening guitar thing.
I know that was a badass thing to listen to, man. I remember hearing that when it first came out. It was a big, massive hit on the radio stations back in Michigan and elsewhere. There.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, how could I have left off this an early warning, lock and key,
Yep.
red bar shadow, wise up, YZ?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to. Mystic Rhythms,
Uh-huh.
Subdivisions. I mean, those are all legit.
Countdown from the Signals album.
Yeah. I mean,
That was a
and there's even
badass record,
more.
and the badass video just as well. And
Yeah.
it's fits to say that the song's subdivisions has that one line that pretty much sums up the attitude that everyone has experienced a couple times in their lives. Be cool or be cast out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be one of us or you're gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about them. They had good lyrics
They did,
in
yeah.
a lot of cases.
A lot of interesting. They didn't sing about love. They didn't sing about, partying down. They had a lot of stuff they wanted to talk about, and they summed it all up in all those albums.
Yeah.
And sadly, Rush is now a memory,
Right.
and we're gonna miss him. We do definitely miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I have Kiss, but I don't really think that they're metal.
But they kind of
They're
like, I think that
well.
what
Let's go ahead and do them.
that's do yes, because they were metal in the '80s when they took off the makeup.
Yeah. Well, most of my songs are gonna go makeup route.
All right,
I
definitely.
like the early stuff.
Yeah, that's true there. The early stuff. But I liked a lot of their stuff, with some of the earlier stuff, some of the '80s stuff there. But for I understand the later stuff with Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer and Peter and Ace's place there, let alone the makeup, it's kind of deemed questionable by many of their enthusiasts.
Yeah. Well, my number 10 by them is a song called Baby Driver.
Wow.
Number 9, I put Rock and Roll All Night as my number 10 because they just overplayed the daylights out of that one for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's true. That's one of the first songs you always come up with, and when you think about it, it's overplayed so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, give us a break.
Number 8, I got to shout it out loud.
Oh yeah, from the album Destroyer. And by the
Number
way, have
7,
by the way, have you
but
heard the reissued version of Destroyer with its original cover they had planned?
no, I haven't.
They have it
I'll
on
have to look it up.
yeah, they have it on vinyl at the one of the WalMarts here and there. I'm thinking about getting it pretty soon there
Yeah.
because it was like I guess it was like it's kind of like almost remix version of the original Destroyer album. And I guess
Wow.
the one of the solos of the tracks features the original Ace Frehley solo instead of this other guitar player solo there, from what I remember hearing there.
Huh.
Because
Huh.
Kiss has been known to have a lot of guest players on their tracks there, here and there.
Yeah. Number 7's Hard Luck Woman.
Oh yeah, which is Peter Criss song there.
And number 6 is God of Thunder.
Oh yeah, we know. Oh man, that was one of Gene's best right there. And those
Number
kids.
5,
And by the
Fifth.
way, the kids in the background there on the Destroyer version adds to that eeriness to that song there.
Yeah. Number 5, another Gene Simmons song, Black Diamond.
Oh yeah, sung by first sung by Paul Stanley, and then throughout the whole rest of the track by Peter Criss.
Number 4, I Was Made for Loving You,
Oh yeah,
which, even though it's got a disco flavor to it, I do like it.
you know what? I have to say that song has now been kind of like made popular once again because the lure, the story behind it, the attempt to go
Right.
around the disco route there. It's kind of funny that all the tracks that were deemed, come on, back then, are now finding a resurgence into the modern society.
Yeah. My number three is their cover of God Gave Rock and Roll to You, the Nargent song.
Well, you sure it's a cover tune because
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that.
because they had a two the numeral two there along with the title there because I'm thinking it's they had called it that, but they decided to go add the number two, saying it's a new kind of like a recorded, not necessarily that. For what I understand, it's something that they recorded, recorded for the course. Well, by the way, let me look the damn thing up there. Somebody bitch there.
Yeah, look it up because I'm almost
God
certain it's an
gave
Argent song.
rock and roll to you. Yeah, it's called God Gave Rock and Roll to You 2, numeral 2 there. It was in the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey soundtrack and on the album no, excuse me, Revenge from 1992.
Right.
And and you're right, it was recorded, it was first recorded by Argent
In the
in,
70s, I think.
yeah, 1973. It was covered by Petra, a Christian rock band, in 77 84, and by Kiss in 1991, both with modified lyrics.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting there. Definitely.
My number two is a song that you probably heard before.
And
It's their
also,
cover.
oh, excuse me,
Okay,
I
go ahead.
have the. Now, now, here's something else here. Though the Power of the Ballad covered, I'm just saying it because it was titled "God Gave Rock and Roll to You 2" in Roman numerals there. It was released as a single, and I'm trying to find out why they put the two next to the title there. For
Hmm.
some reason, I don't know why. It was a modified. Basically, had modified lyrics in the verses. Thus, the reason for the slight change in the name of the song. I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see there. They kind of like juiced it up a little bit, and they made it kind of like a part two there.
Yeah.
And it was also the last track to feature Eric Carr before his death 3 months later.
Wow.
Yeah, because he died. Remember, he died from cancer about the same time Queen's Freddie Mercury. Wow.
Number two I got is their cover of Stone's song, 2000 Man.
Mm.
They do a great version of that song.
Oh, nice.
Number one, you probably have figured out.
Oh, yeah. Let me guess.
It,
Detroit Rock City?
yep.
Absolutely. Now,
That's easily my favorite Kiss song.
here's, for what I understand, we need to go into deep into the lyrics of that song. Because when you listen to the lyrics wholly, it starts off, as you know, with a diner and a news bulletin on the TV about a Pontiac youth was killed on his way to downtown, and the driver of the truck was uninjured and stuff there. And then you listen to the lyrics about what the guy was doing on his way down to see a Kiss show there, and then probably the same one that they recorded live at, by the way, because we remember it was Alive. The first Alive was recorded at Cobo Hall in
Right.
Detroit. And from what I understand, the band found out about this guy getting killed on his way to see them. They felt bad about it, and I guess they wrote Detroit Rock City as a homage to this man here.
Wow. Man.
And of course, you can't forget the car crash at the end of the track there.
Right.
So obviously it had a lot of. It was their. Excuse me there. It was their. Nah, you go ahead, Ark. No, I'm trying to look up
Oh,
something here, dude.
yeah. I was going to say after Kiss, the only band, heavy metal that I got left
Mm-hmm.
for now is a group by the name of Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah. Now we're going to the big one, the big leagues here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I could have easily listed a top 45 of these people,
Oh
but
dear.
I held it to 15, and that was tough
Mhm. Oh man.
because I left out. I know I left out great songs.
Mhm.
Number 15 is In My Time of Dying.
All right. For physical graffiti.
Yep. Number 14, When the Levee Breaks.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, as you know, the Beastie Boys sampled the drum beats from for their song "Rhymin' and Stealin'." One of their
Yep.
members, they all playing the chords to "Sweet Leaf" by Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Number 13 is The Ocean.
Oh yeah, from Houses of the Holy.
Yeah. Number 12, for some reason, I like Carousel Alhambra.
From Into the Outdoor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great track, but great album, by the way. I
Yeah.
should say there.
Yeah. Number 11, Song Remains the Same.
Yep.
Number 10, How Many More Times.
Oh yeah, from the
Great
first album,
first album.
which by the way, often just shows like a Dazed and Confused, the technique that Jimmy Page would do with the violin bow across his guitar strings.
Yeah. Number 9, I got Black Dog.
Yep.
Number 8, No Quarter.
Oh yeah.
Number 7, Rain Song.
All right. Great song from that album, Houses of the Holy.
Yeah. Number 6, In the Evening.
Yeah, great opening for from the In Through the Outdoor album there.
Yeah. Number 5, In the Light.
Oh yeah.
Number 4, Thank You.
From
I
the
love the
second
guitar in
album.
that song.
Yep, absolutely.
Number 3, I know you're here somewhere.
Yep.
Uh, Bring It On Home.
Oh yeah, from the second blues number from the second album
Yeah, I
there.
love the way it starts out with that little
Dun
kind
dun
of
dun
boogie
dun
beat.
dun
And
dun
then,
dun
yeah.
dun dun
And
dun
then
dun
it
dun
breaks
dun.
into
The
Page.
harmonica. Then it breaks into the version we know by heart there.
Yeah, I just like the way that song
It is. It
jumps
is.
around.
It is. It is cool how they did that. It fits to say that Zeppelin really embraced the blues and analysts a lot. They did.
My number 2 is Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, and we all know the story behind that track. It was
Yeah,
inspired by a song of the same title but with different lyrics by a dude named Jake Holmes. Page saw him playing, doing that song one time, and I figured, told the rest of the Yardbirds, let's do our version of that song. There's no studio version of that, but it was featured on a couple of live recordings from a TV show there in France. Look it up right now, folks, and you see what I'm talking about.
yeah, and also he did it with the remnants of the Yardbirds
Yeah.
as a title of I'm Confused.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And I guess now when you read the liner notes or the credits to the reissued first album, it says written by Jimmy Page, inspired by Jake Holmes, underneath
Right.
the song title there in the credits.
But yeah, if you ever want to hear the early version of that song, look up the Yardbirds live at Anderson Theater. I'm Confused.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to go back to the Kiss thing here
Okay.
because the composition here be about the Detroit Rock City song. While the song briefly references Detroit, this is when the Wikipedia, the real life incident which inspired the lyrics did not take place there. Paul Stanley said, I had the basic riff of the song, the get up, get down part, but I didn't know what the song was about except it was about Detroit. And I remembered on the previous tour, I think it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, somebody actually got hit by a car and killed outside the arena. I remember thinking how weird it is that people's lives can end so quickly. People be on their way to something that's considered a party, a celebration of being alive, and die in the process of doing it. So that became the
Yeah.
basis for the lyrics. Wow.
Yeah.
Which is true. Which is very, very
Yeah.
true, man.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, my number one for Led Zeppelin, and then
Hmm.
you probably, I'll be a little surprised, but
All
really
right.
no.
All right.
Kashmir.
Oh, yeah. That's another one that's still played massively on the radio.
The drumming in that song is fantastic.
And by the way, if you listen to it, there's a kind of like a flange effect on it. Because it's one of the first things I noticed when I first heard the song back in '79 over a friend's house. They had the physical graffiti vinyl on there, and I was listening to that. It's like, wow, I don't know what kind of effect that it was called, but we heard it so many times on other tracks like guitar, vocals, and such and such. And I guess it's called the flange effect. But it's
Yeah.
still one of the coolest effects out there to this day when you think about it there.
There's no question John Bonham was one of the best drummers around.
Oh, yeah. Barack Obama said it best when Zeppelin was inducted to the Kennedy Center Award. Awards there, I guess. John Bonham played the drums like his life depended on it.
Yeah, and two of the best examples of his drumming are
Yep.
Kashmir and Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Moby Dick.
Absolutely. And we got a scammer on my phone, which will be gone right now. See ya. Don't want to be ya. All right. And, okay. And go ahead, dude.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
notice
answer it. I didn't answer. It said scam likely, and I just brushed it off there.
Oh yeah, I never answer those things.
I'm getting sick and tired of them. I've been getting phone calls from the 832 area code here, and it's like driving me nuts. It makes me want to go out and find the location where they're doing this, so I'm in beat the snot out of every one of them.
Yeah, yeah, but there was a lot of songs that I left off, obviously,
Oh yeah,
but it wasn't because I didn't like them.
there was
Uh,
too much to fit into one list.
well, I tried to leave off things that everybody's familiar with, like a whole lot of love, Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, that's true. Like how many times has we heard that song at the back of our hands? Robert
Yeah,
Plant doesn't want to do that song no more. He refused to do it because in fact, believe it or not, he didn't want when he first started as a solo artist. He didn't want to do any Zeppelin's tunes. In
right.
fact, he one time mentioned that his biggest fear was people requesting him to sing "Stairway to Heaven."
Yeah,
Pl-
it's kind of like I'm kind of tired of that song.
I know. He even said it a couple of times. He's mentioned that to a journalist named Lisa Robinson on the TB interview at one point.
Yeah,
But Page, however, still takes pride in performing it. He did an instrumental version on one of his solo tours in '88.
and actually, that Kennedy Center thing you were talking about,
Yeah.
Hart does an amazing cover of that
Yeah, I
song.
heard about it. Of course, yeah. Believe it or not, they were often christened the Little Led Zeppelin at times.
I mean,
Because Ann Wilson
and
had Ann Wilson, she could belt out the same kind of vocal range as Robert Plant did back in the day.
yeah, and Nancy Wilson covers that guitar beautifully.
Oh yeah,
She does it. She does it very well.
absolutely. And by the way, they have a project called the Love Mongers, and they did their version of the Battle of Evermore. That's on the singles soundtrack from 1992. There.
Yeah, another great song that I didn't. Over the hills and far
Oh
away.
yeah. And
Uh,
also one more thing regarding Heart, on their album Greatest Hits Live from later half of 1980, they closed that album with a live version of Rock and Roll,
a
dedicated to
great
John Bonham.
version.
Yeah, great. Dedicated, of course, John Bonham, who just died prior to that album being released.
The only drummer I can think of nowadays that is as good or could actually maybe even top him is a guy by the name of Gavin Hammond.
I don't think I've heard of him.
Porcupine Tree.
Oh, okay.
He does some stuff. He does some drumming that you'll just sit and back in amazement and say, "Holy cow!"
Wow.
Uh, he does some great drumming. And
What
Steve
about?
Wilson's a genius.
Oh, wow. What about Dave Grohl as a drummer? Because if I understand, he used to pound the hell out of his drums when he back in the days with Nirvana and when he was doing that stint with the Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking more technique because there are a
Ah,
lot of guys that can pound the crap out of a drum,
that's true.
but
Yeah.
I'm talking more of technique.
Mm,
And if you listen to some of the technique in Gavin Hammond, uh, I'll send you some stuff.
definitely.
I
Okay.
mean, it's some phenomenal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You basically listen to it and go, "Whoa,
All right.
that's different."
All right.
And that's another group that's way underknown that should be people should know about them.
All right.
They're they're extinct now, but the guitarist that was the group,
Yeah.
Steven Wilson's solo now, and he does some phenomenal stuff both there and with the group. And yeah, I might send you some of that too.
Okay. Definitely. I'll check those out when I get them through there.
Yeah, I guess you'd listen to the other stuff I sent.
All right, guys, I did. The King's Tracks there. I remember hearing that, the third one there from the Word of Mouth album. I remember hearing that on the radio a couple times around that year, if I recall.
Yeah, well, actually, all four of those songs were played on the radio, but that third one was played probably more than any of them.
Yeah,
And the first one, Rock and Roll Fantasy, is kind of autobiographical.
I see. I think you mentioned that at one point we were covering when he was covering that group there.
Yeah, 'cause, things like, well, let's see, I was trying to think of some of the lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
Talking about, you may be through, but we have just begun, or something like that. I
Ah,
forget
I see.
exactly how.
One from one act to another to take the other person's place, I guess.
Yeah, basically it's about him and his brother.
Ah, okay.
Because
Which
they kind of
they
contentious.
off they were like the kind of like the Gallagher brothers back in their day, I guess.
Except at least they didn't quit.
I know, yeah, that's true there. And I guess Dave Davies, his brother there, I guess he's still we mentioned that he had a stroke in somewhere in the 2000s prior to them
Yeah,
being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm wondering if he's still able to play guitar after that.
I don't know because I know that sometimes you can have medical things happen that makes it kind of tough to play guitar.
That's
It's
true.
harder for me to play guitar now than it used to be.
Wow. I gotta assume, which by the way, I just gotta start doing that again once more. I've been so busy with my job, doing
Well, the job
everything.
comes first.
I know, yeah, it's true. But one of these days, when I have the time, I should probably record me a guitar playing video for my channel here, because it's been a while since I did that. I gotta
Yeah.
find some beats. I gotta record it. Get that down and do a solo over it. So, like I usually did a couple times there.
Oh yeah.
Or find me some dark ambient track and do a solo over that.
Sure.
Definitely got to do that kind of stuff again because because I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
And
I'm tr-
a couple people have been commenting on some of my videos here regarding the politics. Saying we like to see you do a guitar playing video again,
yeah.
and which I will do definitely sooner or later.
Now I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do next. Do want to kind of did most of the middle of the 70s.
Yeah, well, or pre-metal, I guess you could say there.
Yeah, because I don't think any of the others start out till the 80s.
Yeah, it's true there. That's when the heavy metal really started booming there.
I'm kind of wondering whether we should just go ahead and cover regular '70s
Rock.
music and then go into prog.
Well, we could.
That probably
I'm thinking possibly we could probably go and do that. Those two definitely because those are the groups that you mentioned are the ones we already know that are kind of like predecessors to the metal genre. But I'm thinking there's other genres out there that do are worthy of mentioning.
yeah. Let's do. I guess let's do '70s, for lack of a better term, classic rock.
Definitely a
You
good
know,
idea
not
there.
prog, not metal, not prog, just general stuff, kind of like
Hmm.
10cc,
Yeah.
Ambrosia, people like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Just your
Definitely.
regular
Yes.
classic
Definitely.
rock.
And we should also probably throw in the R&B scene in there as well because of the Philadelphia sound with Teddy Pendergrass and the Blue Notes.
Yeah, and maybe even touch a little bit on southern or country rock.
Yeah, it's true there. Definitely, we definitely got to do that. I'm thinking of probably now I'll be occupied for the rest of the week, with my work and of course Real Slug TV, and of course, like I said, you're invited just as well there. But I'm thinking on the next on day off, we'll definitely touch up on these particular subjects. Definitely,
Yeah, let's plan for that.
absolutely, dude.
Okay.
All right, there. So I guess this concludes tonight's episode, if I understand.
Yeah, I think so. We pretty much covered most of the ground, and
All
if
right,
we
there.
think of something else, we can touch on it next time.
All right, definitely. Okay, I guess that'll be it for this evening. Of course, we'll be up around, I guess, sometime the next week there. I want to remind everybody, I'm working up till about 5:30 in the afternoon, so I'm gonna hurry the hell up home, or get the Uber to hurry the hell home there, so I can be alive with the Real Select TV with Minnesota Vikings fan and Minnesota Super Bowl hunter. I'm hoping we could get some other guests on the program. It'd be nice to have Dave Rose or Falmouth Ken be a part of it once again.
Yeah.
And they're definitely, like I said, I'm gonna try and add you on to the call there to discuss whatever subjects are being discussed there. Definitely for
Okay.
sure, man. Definitely. All right, so that's it for episode 37 of our music memory series. For Arknolia and myself, we are out of here. Have a good one. Have a good
All
week,
right.
people.
All right.